Hello and welcome to HIBO, Home Improvement by Owner. We are here to tell you a very exciting service that HIBO offers and is a essential part of your major home improvement project. So if you're getting ready to embark on a major home improvement project, I hope you watched our first video about how HIBO services can help you out. And if you missed it, it's available on our YouTube channel. Just look us up, HIBO, HIBO. So today we're going to talk about the feasibility study, what it is and why it is so essential to your building project. So the feasibility study is really the second step in the process of your building project. So first thing you want to do is make sure that you qualify for HIBO services. So before we move on, let's go through just a few questions to make sure that you are ready for your feasibility study and if you qualify for the HIBO services. So here's just a few questions that we need to make sure that you have the answers for. What are you considering building? Like a first floor addition, a second floor addition, maybe an in-law suite, or a two-story addition, adding on a second floor to your house. All of these things would be projects that major home improvement projects that HIBO would be happy to take on. Do you have any sketches or pictures similar to what you might want? Those are all very helpful. Where is the location of your planned project? Do you know where it's going to be? In the front, in the rear, on the side? Is it going to be a basement expansion? What is the space needed for your project? What is the project going to be used for? Do you know what your building plans are as far as what it is you want to utilize the space for? Is it going to be a kitchen? Is it going to be a bathroom? Is it going to be extra living space? And how big will the project be to meet your needs? Do you have an idea of just a little basic floor plan? Do you know how big you want the room to be and where you're going to put it? When do you want the project completed? Are you ready to go right now? Are you going to get it? Do you want it built this year, next year, as soon as possible? Do you have a building budget in mind? If you have a budget, do you have financing for that money? Or do you need financing? So if you do need financing, HIBO has a lender that'll help with the financing as needed. If you have your own financing with somebody else, that's also perfectly fine. So if you have answers to all those questions, you don't need to have it perfectly laid out. That's going to be HIBO's job to help you out. But you do need to have those basic questions answered before moving on to the feasibility study. So if you have those questions answered, you are ready for HIBO's feasibility study, and that's the next crucial step for your project. So what exactly is a feasibility study and why is it important? So HIBO really believes that no project should move forward and utilize your investment until it is firmly decided that the project is feasible. So this includes not only your budget, but also the needs of the work involved. So therefore, this is the most important phase of any building project. We're going to go through the details as well. So this stage provides the homeowner with realistic expectations and control of your project. So you're going to know how much that you're spending on each element of the project and whether or not you are overspending. So you're going to learn what is required and how to obtain special licensings, permits, and what is going to help the flow of the project. Here are the things that you're going to get in the feasibility study. First, you're going to get project designs. Now, I've included a few examples of project design so you can really see the quality of the work that you're getting from HIBO. So this is just a little before project picture of a very small home that you can see there. So when your project first starts, you're going to get a 3D model of what you're starting with. You're going to get a existing floor plan of what you're beginning with. And then this is just an after picture of what HIBO turned that little house into a livable, nice family dwelling there. So here's another example. This was a permit drawing here, and I'm just going to show you a few slides of the type of drawings that you're going to get from HIBO in preparation for your project. So this would be something to make sure that you're going to be meeting permit codes, the previous one. And then these are layout designs for the project. Now, these designs are not intended to be used as the architectural designs, but these designs are preparing for bidding for all of your subcontractors. As you can see, we've got lots and lots of details here, clearly laid out floor plans, really nice work. The second thing you're going to get is a description of the work specifications. Now, this step includes a 25-point itemized list that accounts for all possible needs that your major building project might require. This is where we gather the pricing for your location, your time frame. This information is used to create your plans, purchase your materials, create the schedules for the building, actually hire the subcontractors, negotiate the contracts, manage and monitor the build, and everything else in order to move on to the next step. So when you do the feasibility study, you are going to be completely prepared and ready for actually getting the work started as soon as you are ready. The price budget analysis is the third thing that you're going to be getting. Now, this is very important because you need to make sure that you are staying within your budget. So for the price budget analysis, we've included just a sample here. You're going to get a list of possible suppliers and about how much those suppliers are going to be costing as part of the project. Now, you guys may still have a few more questions that you would like answered. So I have a special surprise for you tonight. We actually are going to be getting Terry Ham, the owner of HIBO, on the line here with us to answer some questions that we have received from our viewers. So let me just get him on the line here and we will get started. If you have any questions, you can also add into the comment section and we will answer them as well. Terry.
Hello, this is Terry.
Hi, Terry.
Hello.
Can you hear me? This
Hi,
is
Ray.
Ray. Hi.
How are you?
Good, good.
Good.
We're here with our viewers and wanted to get a couple of their questions answered from you.
Sure. Only a few?
Just a few. If we get some more come in, we might keep you busy for a while.
I'm fine being busy.
So the first question that we had is, what is the time commitment for me as a homeowner when I work with HIBO?
I think collectively, your time will be either spent making decisions more so at the beginning, after you do your qualifiers, keeping in mind that everything that you would not want to do, someone else will do it, and they're going to charge you for it. We like to keep you involved. So the most places we can have you involved, that's a place where you will save money. And of course, that's time. Most of the time is at the beginning, creating the feasibility, and of course, creating plans in the next step, and so forth. And it'll end up being, that's the most time. Overall, after you put shovel in the ground, so to speak, or you're ready to build, 30 minutes every other day, maybe, because then most of the work is done in the development process. So to say the time spent overall would be writing checks and help us manage the job and the milestones of the contractors.
So really, you can, as the homeowner, kind of set your own pace on about how much time is involved. So if you want to be really more involved, you can be more involved. If you want to be a little less involved, you can be less involved. But bare minimum is probably going to be about 30 minutes a day. I think you had told me at another time when we talked.
Yes.
Okay.
But again, everything right now gets compared to a general contractor and compared to what we do. If
Yes.
you're hiring a general contractor, you have very little time to do. You don't need to be involved. They don't want you involved. So the architect will design kind of what you're telling. He'll come back and have sketches or whatever. A builder will do the same thing because they're thinking you don't want to spend the time. Because
That
it's by owner, we want you to spend the time. That's where the savings is. So it's your investment, it's your time. If you give other people to do those things, then obviously it's their time and they will charge you for it. I'd rather you keep and pay yourself that time.
Yes, and I also remember when we were talking before about cost savings with HIBO, that you were telling me that if people have resources like an electrician that's certified in the family, or a painter that's certified in the family, that they would be able to utilize those people if they like in order to save some money.
Absolutely. Just always keeping in mind it's home improvement by the owner. The owner's in charge, not the GC, not the architect. You're in charge. We just help you be in charge and
That's
show you the way you can bring people in from wherever, as long as they qualify and meet your budget.
Yes, and HIBO is great about protecting the owner in that way as well. They're not going to utilize any services that haven't been pre-qualified by HIBO and making sure that they are going to give you the result that you want.
Exactly right, because just because you have a friend doesn't mean he's a friend that's qualified. And we need all people on your project to be qualified by HIBO. The
Absolutely.
cost doesn't matter. It's the qualification, the certification, and the
Absolutely.
licensing and so forth.
Yep.
That is the main part of protecting your investment.
Absolutely. And I love that about HIBO, that you make sure that all the work is done by really high quality people that you can trust.
And that's true too, because they're coming at you without running through a GC where they'll mark those people up.
Yeah,
So you get the best there is in direct dealing with them.
absolutely. The next question we had was, what is the cost of the feasibility study? But before you answer that, can you tell me just very briefly in your own words, why you think the feasibility study is such a crucial step? I went through that a little bit earlier, but I feel like that it needed still a little bit more understanding from you, if that's possible.
Uh, no one else does what HIBO does in the feasibility area. It's a process where you're getting all the information, plans, sketches, pricing, and so forth after you meet the 7 qualifiers, of course. And
Yes,
then with the
and we did go through.
feasibility, yeah, you have documents now, and you're documented that the feasibility at the price it is probably the least you're going to pay for the most amount of information you're going to get. Being said, you're going to have documents where you can take to the bank, where you can use the bid, and it's a standalone contract. So it's a lot of value when you want to move forward, and then we'll just apply all that value in the feasibility into the going forward contract with HIBO Services.
Absolutely. And the feasibility study, really, like you said, it is a standalone service. So if somebody really just wants to find out if how much their project is truly going to cost them, is their budget correct, and is it really going to be possible for them to do this project, that's something the feasibility study can tell them, regardless of whether they decide to move forward.
Absolutely right. Because if everybody's honest and they give the right information and you stay involved, then we can only process what you want us to process.
Right.
So your involvement is always a savings, always a savings.
And so when they do the feasibility study, that's not like a signed contract where they've hired HIBO to complete the whole project. This is really
No,
just the
no,
preparation
no,
step. And then once that is done, then they can decide if they're going to move forward.
absolutely. Absolutely. Because that's the only way I think people should move forward. You
Yeah.
have to get a feasibility regardless. And you can't get it from an architect. You can't get it from a GC. You can't get it from a design build firm. So what I created is, I feel, is the best interest of the homeowner. Not about me, it's always about the homeowner.
Absolutely. So, thank you, Terry. I appreciate you explaining that a little further. Now, can
Sure.
you go over how you determine the cost of the feasibility study?
Yeah, and again, it's going to have to do with the qualifiers, and then it's going to have to do with the conversations about what's involved in the feasibility. So that's kind of an in-person chat that you'll have, which I will give to you. And in that, we're going to talk about all those places where there's opportunities. Right now, probably what we're seeing in the industry is somewhere between $150,000 and a $200,000 project. Feasibility could be about 800, pending. There are so many variables pending. But then you get a project that might be 250 to 350, could be $1,200. I can't pin it down until we actually do the work to do it. After that would be to be determined, because at that point, it's more plans, it's more of your environment and your inclusion. So somewhere between $800 and $1,200, I would suspect.
Okay, that's great. That gives our viewers an idea of what they need to budget for the feasibility study. And we went through some of those amazing drawings that you get with the HIBO service, and I explained that they were not to be used for building, but definitely to be used for planning the project appropriately. And those were just fantastic.
Yeah, to add to that, because everything is so complex in that part of the beginning, the sketches are what they are, and of course they're low cost driven for creating a budget. But I did include a couple of projects that went forward, and you can see the clear difference between the sketches and pictures and the actual plans that have to be created to get a permit.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that was a very complex document there for the building permits.
As well it should be.
Yes. So our next question is, can you explain again how working with HIBO saves me money and protects my investment? And you touched on this a little bit, but never can hear enough about how you get to save me some money.
Exactly. And I'm certainly aware of that. There is I don't know if y'all covered, there's a 1 through 10 savings where it explains each place and every place, aside from the feasibility budget, where the savings begins, the saving continues. And it's always about remaining actively involved in the HIBO process. So that allows you to earn savings as you go through the process. So it's hard to pin down 1 or 2 or 3. It's the combination of everything that you do. As long as you're involved, as long as you're helping us help you, then there's always a savings.
Absolutely.
But you control the savings. You control the savings. We don't. If you step away or you would rather somebody else give us information, then of course the savings will be less.
Right. So the more involved the homeowner is, really, the more that they'll save.
Well, yeah, it's your project.
Mm-hmm.
So that exactly. And just GCs do what they do, architects do what they do. There's nothing against what they do. This was created to help homeowners to be involved, because it's your job, it's your investment, and it's protected by you being in control and you acting like you're your own general manager.
Absolutely. I just feel like this is such an amazing and unique opportunity for homeowners to have the ability to do the quality work that you would get to pay top dollar for a project, and yet you're going to get the same amazing, if not better quality work, by just being involved yourself and working with HIBO, who helps to make sure that you're making the right decisions.
True. Most of the comments I get from clients is, sounds too good to be true. Then they find out that it is.
Right?
What more can I say? They tell the story. It's not about me. It's about all the homeowners who know and understand what we do, and we do it for them.
Yes. So, Terry, I know I have so enjoyed talking with you today, and I bet some of our viewers would be really interested in talking to you personally about their projects as well. So, what is the best way to get in touch with you and HIBO?
Well, the position you have, you can direct them through our website, or you can call phone number and you'll hear a message, which then you'll get connected right to me personally. And we can talk about how you want to move forward, when you want to move forward, and how we can come up with savings that you may have just from listening to this webinar.
Yes, I remember you said that you were going to offer a little special discount of some type for anyone that was contacting you and mentions the webinar. Did you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, yes, because you're a step further, and knowing that I can help you move forward, then I'm going to extend that. If you're building this year, then I think we can do even a feasibility fee that can be reduced. But again, collectively, when we move forward with the building and we roll that back in, I think you'll see maybe 15% savings.
Absolutely. So get in touch with Terry. He's offering himself directly to you. You can reach him at 717-740-1411. Just leave a message for him and he will get back to you as soon as he can. And he will talk to you personally about your project. If you want to learn a little bit more about HIBO services and like to browse websites, you can visit his website at hibo.us. And although Terry serves mostly the Fairfax and Arlington County, Virginia area, he can offer his services in other locations as well. So give him a call and let him know where you're going to be building. So thank you so much, Terry, for talking to us about the feasibility study. It's been a pleasure, and we'll be in touch again soon.
Thank you much, Ray.
All right. Have a great night.
You too. Thank you all.
Bye-bye. So thank you so much for watching the webinar. It's been a pleasure being with you guys. I hope to see you in our next video. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. And happy building.